Welcome back to the channel today, guys. If you have been following our channel and you watched our previous video on how to sow some of our carnivorous plants, namely the Sarracenia, you would know what these are. And what these are seeds of carnivorous plants, namely Sarracenia and Darlingtonia. So these species need to be in the fridge for 4 weeks, kept in moist and damp conditions, just like you can see here, and kept cold for the 4 weeks. I actually can't believe how quickly time has gone by. So since it's been 4 weeks, we now have to pot them up. So last night I prepared these 1, 2, 3 pots over here, and I put them in this tray with our Utricularia that are all still sprouting. And it's just simply a mixture of 1:1 of peat and perlite here, and for the Darlingtonia, mixture of 1:1 of long sphagnum with fine perlite. But I thought I'll just give you guys a quick little update on all the plants. This is our Utricularia and Gendeliciae. Nothing has sprouted out of these pots because this is where I keep all the pots that have some seeds that are still to sprout. But what I did notice is right there we have Drosera glabripes. And I can't believe that this actually sprouted because we had literally one seed. And I thought it was just a dud, but here seems like we have something, even if it might not be glabripes, still something which is a surprise. All these other pots here are still to sprout. And these down here are our sprouter plants. Take a look, our tuberous Drosera has sprouted and made their first traps. So these are all of our sprouter plants. Our little regia there is growing, and another one came up right there. Some Drosera capensis, and yeah, essentially all of these guys are now growing. I actually need to move them a little bit out into the garden because it's becoming winter time and the shade is pretty much where they're growing. It's very easy to actually replant these plants, seeing as we put them in media like this. So if you remember a little bit about the previous video, we took some sphagnum, we chopped it up nice and fine, shoved it into this little bag, and you can see the seeds. There's quite a few right here. These tiny little circular things. There's actually quite a lot here. Very easy, just shove it in the bag, put it in the fridge, and now seeing as they're done, all we need to do is simply put this sphagnum onto the top of these pots. I'll show you how to do this with the first one, Sarracenia purpurea. Open up the bag. And you can really just grab this if you want, cut open the bag. I could cut open the bag if I really wanted to. Make sure you get all of it out, because if I left that, we would have missed 5 or so seeds. And now, seeing as they're stuck in there now, oh, you guys didn't even see that. Yeah, seeing as they're still stuck in here, I'm just gonna cut it open now. I didn't want to, but there we go. Now we can just take this out. And I'll just spread it on top of the media here so that there are seeds everywhere. I'm going to be pressing down the peat a little bit so that the sphagnum can make good contact with the peat, so that it obviously stays moist. You don't want to squeeze it down too hard. You don't want to kill the seeds now that they're all nice and soft and ready to start sprouting. Yeah, and that looks about as good as we're gonna get it. So I'm gonna go get the spray bottle, spray it all down now. And that should just help the seeds get good contact with the top of the media, pushes them down, washes them in, just like that. That one's done. And I'm gonna do the rest for these 2 pots as well, and then we need to cover them up to keep the humidity high. Let's just do that real quick. There we go. Now we need to ensure that they all have contact, obviously. This one, planting them in sphagnum with sphagnum on top of sphagnum is pretty easy. You can just push them in. So that's pretty simple. And you guys may have noticed that the soil level is not all the way to the top. I did expect to have more sphagnum. I mean more sphagnum moss than what I have now. I did expect it to be a layer, but yeah, obviously it's not. So when these guys start sprouting, I'll just cover it back up. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Just very dependent on how they grow. But yeah, so I'm gonna cover these guys up now. Seeing as the world is the way it is right now, we don't have any Ziploc bags, and that's kind of the best. But I do have some other bags that I got from some packages that I bought. So let me go get them quick. We do have some bubble wrap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut pieces and wrap pieces around the pots, and I'll see how that goes. Okay, so all I'm gonna do really is just put the pot like this, roll it around like once, and this looks like it's enough for 2 pots. So I will cut it at this part here. And cut this in half. And now we've got enough for 2 pots, and I will make another square there quick. And here we've got enough for 3 pots, which is all the pots that we have. So let me just look at them quick. So in the previous video, I had someone comment talking about how they stratify their Venus flytraps in Sarracenia, and the guy mentioned that he puts, or she puts, their seeds into some distilled water in a jar, and they put the jar into the fridge, and they have very good success obviously doing that in I think they said 99% success rate. And I feel like this is actually a really good idea, because you don't have to worry about the sphagnum moss. You don't have to chop it up, you don't have to do any of that stuff. You simply just put the seeds into water and put that in the fridge. Obviously getting it onto the media will be super easy as well, because you just pour the water out onto the media. So I feel like next time I will try that as well, because this is what I just generally do, and it works well. But I feel like that would be a much better way to stratify these. So next time I'm going to be trying that. And thank you to the person who commented that. I actually really do appreciate. Wrap this around. Get some tape out so long. Okay, and yeah, there we go. We have our tower of humidity. As I say, I would prefer to use a Ziploc, but don't really want to go to the shops. Shops don't really have. So yeah, what can we do? And there we go. This should be more than enough. Fold it over. Here at the top, just like that, and tape it up. There we go. This is already less humid than what it is used to inside of the Ziploc bags, but this should be fine. I might just take this up a little bit more just to make extra sure. But yeah, for the first week, we will keep them like this. And then in the second week, I'll cut a slit here at the top to let some more air in and slowly acclimate them to less humidity. They are all now bubble wrapped and ready to be put into the warmth outside. So what I will do now is that I'm just going to fill up the trays and simply put them with all the other seeds out here, and just keep an eye out on them, and about every week cut like a hole right here so it can slowly acclimate to the less humid air. So there we go, guys. It's super easy, super simple. Wrap them up, make sure that the humidity stays high. If you're using a Ziploc, which is what I recommend, just put them at the bottom of the Ziploc and fill up the bottom of the Ziploc bag with water. And then once a week, just open up the top of the Ziploc more and more and more until it's completely open. Then roll it down like the next week that you would acclimate it. You roll it down, and then the week after that, it should be pretty much time just to take the pot out and put it into its normal watering tray. So let's talk a little bit more about their care. Sarracenia and Darlingtonia, they both really enjoy really strong amounts of sunlight. Darlingtonia prefer to have cooler roots and cooler temperatures, but let's just focus on the Sarracenia for now. So With the Sarracenia, you want to let them have as much sun as possible. Bright, direct, not diffused, just strong, direct sunlight for as long as you could possibly give them. They also like to have just clean, plain water, reverse osmosis, distilled, or rainwater. Those are the waters that they want, and you pretty much water them the same that you would a Venus flytrap. You water them using the tray method, and once the water level has gotten all the way down to the bottom or it's dry in the tray, you just fill it back up. Every winter time, they do want to have a dormancy. When it's starting to change from summer into autumn or fall, there's less sunlight. When that starts to reduce, for example, in autumn time, then they start to go dormant, and with the cold temperatures, they also still go even more dormant. So when winter comes around, you want to water them less. Essentially, once the water tray has emptied, you leave about 1 to 2 days between waterings. Just fill it back up with water, and that's as much as you need to know. So yeah, now that the seeds are all planted up, they are in their humidity bags and they're watered, I should expect to see some sprouts within 1 to 4 weeks. That's about how long they take. They really react pretty well to the really cold in the fridge to the really warm outside. So we should start seeing some sprouts coming up. And then if they are growing pretty quickly, I will be rather acclimating them every half week, so every 4 or so days. Then I will open up the bag a little bit more because I want them to grow, if they're growing fast, I want them to grow with the acclimation so that I can let them go outside quicker because it is winter time now. So what that means is that our photo period obviously is getting shorter and shorter and colder, and I want to skip their first dormancy. This is not recommended for most people, but if you do want to do it and you understand what you're doing, then sure, you can skip a dormancy, which may be beneficial to the plants. So I want them to start growing with a lot of sunlight as soon as possible. So that's why I will acclimate them a little bit quicker if they grow really quickly. I'm going to put them straight outside with all the other plants. I'm actually going to move all the plants into the grass so that they can get much more sunlight. Once they have their first carnivorous leaves, then we will get some fertilizers and give them some fertilizers as well to really help them grow even quicker. So guys, if you're looking forward to that and you want to join me for watching them growing, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel because we will be updating you on the Sarracenia and all the other plants growing as much as I can right now. I'm trying to record every single day and put up a video about every 2 to 3 days, but obviously it takes quite a while to render the videos and upload them and edit them obviously. So I'm trying to get as much content as I can out right now. So if you really want to stay along with that, make sure you follow the channel, subscribe, and if you want to, check us out on Instagram. So yeah, thanks guys.